Hello friends, I am Suraj. I am a chartered accountant and CIMA UK qualified with over 10 years of corporate experience. As a faculty, I have been teaching to students of CA Foundation, CA Inter, CA Final. I have taught students of international courses, and accountancy is the forte. I love teaching accounting. I love teaching accountants. And you'll be glad to know that I would be helping you to master this subject called accounting for your CUET exams. Now, a lot of you would already know these concepts that we will be learning as a part of CUET syllabus, but let me tell you, writing and presenting in a normal exams is different, and cracking an MCQ based test, that too in a limited time, is different. And this realization I got when I wrote CAT for the first time. See, when you have 3 hours of time to solve some questions, when you have a structure pattern to present, that's a different thing. But when it comes to MCQs, it is about accuracy as well as speed. If you take a normal exam, it is like a test match where you need techniques, proper presentation and all of those things. But when it comes to MCQ based exams, it is more about your speed. It is like T20. Okay. So even though you would have done well in your normal exams, even though you know all the concepts, but you need tools and techniques to attempt MCQ based exams, especially in subjects like accounting, because in a normal accounting paper you are used to preparing ledger accounts, trial balances, BRS and all of those things. But here it is not about preparing the statement, it is about finding the right answer and in a limited time. Now if you look at the syllabus of accountancy for CUET, you would see that it is based out of 12 standard syllabus, and the topics which are covered as a part of the syllabus you would be aware of, and you would have already learned that in your 11th or 12th standard. We have accounting for non-profit organizations, we have accounting for partnerships, your reconstitution, dissolution, we have cash flow statements, we have accounting for shares and debentures, and we have aspects related to computerized accounting. Now when we talk about CUET, and if you are targeting graduation in commerce from one of the top colleges in the country, if you want to apply to any of those 45 central universities, if you are looking at colleges like SRCC, Suraj and the top most colleges in the country, then you cannot ignore accounting. I am not saying this because I teach accountancy, I am saying this because if you have to get into these colleges, if you want to pursue graduation, then accounting becomes very, very important, and you will have to score well in this section as well. Now to score well, you need to understand the concepts, you need to understand how to answer the MCQs, you need to understand how to answer those 40 questions in the given limited period of time. So you have 45 minutes in which you have to answer 40 questions. Now that itself will become challenge. Now coming to preparation for CUET examination, the way Indigo Learn would train you is, will teach you the concepts well. We will give you lots of MCQs to practice. The faculties will teach you how to approach MCQs in the examination. We will have chapter wise test. We will have full comprehensive test. We will also have all India test. So this will basically prepare you for the CUET tests. Now, though it is important that you need to understand concepts, as I told you earlier also, cracking an MCQ based exam is more about accuracy and speed. Okay, so you need to practice that, and that will come only with structured practice. We have a very good app platform, we have a very good web platform where we'll be uploading MCQs, where you can get feedbacks, where you can understand where you went wrong. All of these things would be provided to you, which will help you to prepare for your examination. And in this video itself, I will be taking you through some MCQs and help you understand how do we approach such kind of MCQs in the examination. Now for some of you who are not very good at accounting or who do not have a solid conceptual base for accounting, we will also be providing you animated classes which will teach you the concepts. We have a lot of great content which will help you understand the concepts underlying these questions, right? So we have a proper structure wherein you will have access to conceptual classes, you will have access to live classes, you will have access to thousands of MCQs, you will have access to all India exams, you will have access to doubt clearing by faculties. So with all of this, I am pretty sure you will be well prepared for your examination. Now what I will do is, I will take you through some of the MCQs and I will help you understand the approach which you should be taking when you are preparing for a CUET examinations. Let's now have a look at few sample MCQs and see how do we approach these MCQs in the exams, how we can quickly finish up these MCQs. And please note, it is not about presentation, working notes and detailed calculation. It is about identifying the right answer in the quickest possible time. You have limited time of 45 minutes and you have to finish 40 questions. Means reading the question, solving the question and choosing the right answer. And please note, there is negative marking as well. For each correct answer, you get 5 marks. For each incorrect answer, there is a negative marking of -1. So now, Let's look at this MCQ. A, B and C are partners sharing profits in the ratio of 2:2:1. On retirement of B, goodwill was valued at 30,000. Find the contribution of A and C to compensate B. Right? A very simple question. Now, sometimes you may get difficult names in the question paper. Just ignore that. If they give you some fancy names, very difficult names to pronounce, don't bother about pronunciation. What you should be bothered about is just A, B, C. So what I do is, they give some weird name, some English name, which I'm not able to pronounce. I'll just say, okay, maybe J, K and L. Try to note it that way so that it is easy for you. It saves time. Now here what is the case? There is retirement of B. On retirement, goodwill is valued at 30,000. Now what is the contribution that A and C have to make to compensate B? Basically here, A and C will continue in the firm. B is leaving. Now when B is leaving and A and C will continue in the firm, they will gain something. So basically we need to know what is the gaining ratio. What is the gaining ratio? If nothing is mentioned, gaining ratio will be 2 for A and 1 for C. So gain ratio is 2:1. What is the total goodwill? 30. Now we have to see how much does A and C they have to contribute to B as a compensation for this goodwill share. Now friends, sometimes what happens is in a hurry you would say 30,000, 2:1 means 20 and 10, that is the correct answer. You should not be in a hurry. 2:1 is the sacrifice ratio. We should also find what is the share of B. B's share is 2/5. Now 2/5 of 30,000 is how much? 30,000 by 5 is 6,000. 6,000 multiplied by 2 is 12,000. So the share of goodwill of B is 12,000. This 12,000 you have to split in 2:1 ratio. You can see 8,000 and 4,000 matches this criteria. You don't actually need to calculate also 12,000 into 2/3 and 12,000 into 1/3. This also you can do, but by looking at options you can see that 8,000 and 4,000 these are in the ratio of 2:1 and 8,000 plus 4,000 is 12,000. So option B is the correct answer. Then next one, this may be related to your ratio, this may be related to your cash flow as well. If cost of goods sold is 80,700, opening stock is 5,800 and closing stock is 6,000, the amount of purchase will be what? Now for this, you can prepare ledger and all of that. You have to remember a golden formula. I call it the golden formula. You will be applying this in accounting at your 12th, later on when you do costing, later on when you do financial management, everywhere this formula you will come across. What is the formula? Opening stock plus purchases minus closing stock is equal to cost of goods sold. This is the formula I should remember. Now, what is the question? What do we have? We have closing stock, opening stock and COGS. We need purchase. So we need this number. What is purchase? Purchase is equal to COGS plus CS minus opening stock. That's it. So what is COGS? COGS is given to us as 80,700. So you have 80,700 plus closing stock of 6,000 minus opening stock of 5,800. Now if you do this, you will get the answer. Now how to quickly calculate? 6,000 minus 5,800 is 200. So 80,700 plus 200, 80,900 is the correct answer. Another question, this is on ratios. A firm sells its product at a profit of 35% on cost. If the selling price is 500, what is the cost of product sold rounded to nearest rupee? Now here a lot of students have this wrong habit of remembering. If it is 25% on sales, then it will be 33.33% on cost and all of those things. I also don't remember actually, but a lot of students by heart these numbers. If it is 25% on cost, then it is 20% on sales and all of that thing. Please don't do that. There is a simple way to remember this. What is the simple way? See, the question says 35% on cost. So whatever is the percentage on, assume that to be 100. So here, because it is 35% on cost, you will say cost, assume 100. How much is the profit? 35%. So 35. What will be the selling price? 135. What are we given? We are given 500 as the selling price. We are given 500 as the selling price. Now when we are given 500 as the selling price, what do we need? We need cost of product sold. So we need this. Then you do a simple cross multiplication. That is 500 into 100 divided by 135. Right? You get 370.37. So 370 is the correct answer. Right? So see, if you remember 25% on cost means 20% on sales and all of that thing, that is still okay. But if they give you these weird numbers, it will be difficult. Then next question. A company forfeited 2,000 shares of rupees 10 each which were issued at par held by Mr. Jones for non-payment of allotment money of rupees 4 per share. So what is not paid? 4 per share is not paid. The called up value per share was rupees 9. So called up is 9, total called up, application, allotment and called up. Unpaid is 4, meaning to say paid is 5. On forfeiture, the amount debited to share capital will be how much? Now the question here is, what is the amount that will be debited to share capital? Now to answer this, you have to understand how much would have been credited to share capital. Entire call money of rupees 9, correct? So how many shares? 2000. So 9 multiplied by 2000, 18,000 will be debited to share capital, and this will be credited to forfeiture account. You will debit share capital by 18,000, forfeiture 5 into 2000, 10,000 will be credited to forfeiture, and the unpaid amount, calls in arrears, 4 into 2000, 8,000 will go to calls in arrears account. Simple one. If average stock is 12,000, closing stock is 3,000 more than opening stock, what is the value of closing stock? Now again here, there are simple techniques to do it and solve it faster. One is obviously to do the equation. The second is, you have average. Average is how much? 12,000. Average is 12,000. And closing stock is 3,000 more. So this side you have closing stock, this side you have opening stock. This entire gap is 3,000. What will be the value of opening stock? So this is a midpoint. So here you have 1,500. Here you have 1,500. So if they are as closing stock, 12,000 plus 1,500, 13,500 will be your closing stock. Now here, by looking at the options also, we can get the answer. How? Closing stock 12,000, not possible, because average itself is 12,000. Then closing to be 24,000, not possible, because average is 12,000. If you multiply this by 2, entire thing cannot be just closing stock, because the difference between opening and closing is only 3,000. Then 10,500 and 13,500 is what we are left at. Now will closing be more than average or less than average? It says closing is more than opening. So closing has to be more than average as well. So the option that is left is 13,500. So in some cases, you need not calculate. By evaluating the options itself, you can get the correct answer. Then this is one of the favorite questions what I have, and I see a lot of students struggling in this question. The following information is available with respect to sundry expenses at the end of year 1 and year 2. Particulars, they have given outstanding expense, prepaid expense 500, 800, 250, 750. If the amount paid towards expenses is 5,000, so amount paid is how much? 5,000 during year 2. What is the amount of expense to be debited to P&L account? Now this P&L can be income and expenditure account as well if you are handling a non-profit organization related question. What is the amount of expense for year 2? Now in such questions, students get generally confused because they would have remembered this by heart. I will add this, I will delete this, I'll subtract this, and then you balancing figure this and that. That makes it very complicated. The best way to answer this kind of question is to prepare a T-shaped account which has your expense, your outstanding and prepaid. Everything bring it to the same account. Okay. Now what do I mean by that? See, outstanding expense 500 at the end of year 1. Correct? That means beginning of year 2. What is the balance? 500. It will be a credit balance or debit balance? Credit balance. So 500 credit balance. Then prepaid expense 250 debit balance. Then year-end balance, outstanding 800. So, you will have this side, right? Because you will say balance carried down 800 and prepaid will come this side 750. Then what is paid? 5,000 is paid. So, that you will debit to this account, correct? Once you do this, the thing that you need to do is total this side 5,800 plus 250, that is 6,050, and 750 plus 500, 1,250. So 6,000, so what is the balancing figure here? 6,050 minus 1,250, you get 4,800. This is the correct answer. Okay. Now, other way to do it, 5,000 is the expense. Okay. Then the question says outstanding expense at the end of year 1 is 500. Means in this 5,000, this would be included. So you will reduce that. Now, once you have figured out that this 500 has to be reduced, 5,000 minus 500, 4,500, then this has to be added, because that is outstanding at the end of the year, that is an expense for the current period. So 5,000 minus 500, 4,500 plus 800, 5,300, then plus 250. So 5,300 plus 250, 5,550 minus 750, 4,800. That is also another way in which you can solve this question. Simply you need to understand one item and other items will automatically fall into place. Then let's look at the next question. This is for cash flow. The P&L of a company showed an amount of 20,000 as gain on sale of plant and machinery. Carrying amount of plant and machinery on the date of sale was rupees 70,000. Which of the following is correct? So what has happened here? Gain is 20,000. Written down value or the carrying amount is 70,000. So total proceeds is 90,000. Now the moment you see the 90,000, the first one you see 90,000 is shown as cash inflow from operating. You may be tempted to take this as the right answer, but please note, because we are selling plant and machinery, this will not be from operating activity. So first option is not correct. Then you don't even have 90,000 in other cases. Means the question is not asking us to find out the total cash inflow. Let's see what the options are. 20,000 is shown as cash inflow from investing. Is 20,000 the inflow? No, 90,000 is the inflow. So this also is not correct. Then 50,000 is shown as cash inflow from investing activity. Arey Baba, it should be 90,000. Then 20,000 is deducted from profits to arrive at cash flow from operating activity. This is the correct answer because there is a gain of 20 which you would have credited to P&L. Now you have to add it back because that is not pertaining to operating activity, that is pertaining to investing activity. So option D is the correct answer. Now as we were solving this question, you would have seen that some of the questions were straightforward. Some of the questions you could do quicker if you knew some techniques. Some of the questions you could solve if you could evaluate the options properly. So that is what we need to train, that is what we need to learn to be prepared for the CUET entrance exam. Knowing concepts is one thing. Here it is about being faster. You have to be fast and you have to be accurate. So if you are looking forward to the CUET exams, if you want to attempt CUET exams, do take up the CUET preparatory course from Indigo Learn, where we will give you conceptual clarity. We will provide you with lots of MCQs, all India exams, doubt clearing. We will prepare you for CUET so that you can get admission into one of the best colleges, one of the best commerce colleges in the country.